கீழே தட்டுதில்லை, திருப்பி வச்சுக்கோங்க. கால் இடிக்காது. திருப்புங்கம்மா ஃபுல்லாக அப்படி திருப்புங்க, கால் இடிக்காது. In the first place, do we need God? Who is God? There are people who do not want to be a believer of God. Do we believe in tomorrow, the next moment? Do we believe that the future should be a good one for us? It must be a promising future for us. We say yes. Then bring the future today. Is it possible? Can we garner everything for our life throughout our future today? Do we know what we need tomorrow, the next day, in the next decade, all through our lives? Do we know? But still it is happening. Do we have any control over our time? And within our physiological activity, do we have any control over our stomach, a liver, a lung, a kidney, heart, or in any part of our body? If we think that we want something to happen to us, it is not possible for us. When we fall sick, definitely we do not know what to do. We hope that the sickness will go. Who created the world? Who created the heavens and the earth? We do not know. But who created the all knowing? Who has all the powers? Who has the foresight? Who knows everything that happens around you? It is by His decree alone things are happening in the way it should happen. We have no control over anything about what will happen the next moment. Who controls it? It is God. Who created the air? Who created the water? It is God. So we begin our life with godliness in us. That means with His providence. That providence is the means to live in this world by foresight. Without foresight and without belief and without what we want, require concerning tomorrow, there is no life at all progresses for us. If we need light, then the knowledge how to create light comes. If we need our life to be eased out, then the knowledge comes. If we don't want to fall sick, then the knowledge comes. So every future instinct in us brings us grace from Him, and that is the benevolence and generousness of God. God is not in form and shape, but God is the feel, is the sense, the very insight of us is godliness. There is a power above us. We have some natural ability, and over the natural ability, the power still exists that we call a supernatural power. That power created all the powers. So, this is in short about God. We cannot be an atheist. If we are an atheist, that means I have created the world and I am living in this world, and the world will cater to me, it will serve me. all my life without any dissatisfaction about my being in this world as a human being. I shall understand everything is in my control, the heavens and the earth. That means I know about all the cosmic bodies and all that is on the earth and all that I have possessed as my future instincts. Everything should happen at once and at the same time. I say I want it. It is possible for us, or I can only hope things will happen tomorrow in my way. Then what conducts those things to come your way? It is the superpower. Above the natural powers, we call it supernatural power. The power is what we have in our mind. Our mind gives us the thought, and that thought will serve us all our future. That should be of benefit to us. That cannot go against our wish, but we do not know until such thing happens, and we do not know what will happen to our wishes, to our will, and whether things will happen to our satisfaction or not. So this is godliness. If you don't believe in God, don't harbor anything in the mind, because then and there you can accomplish whatever you want. The heavens and the earth fall at your feet. Whenever you want water, let the rain pour down. Whenever you don't want an illness, let the illness don't come to you, but the illness come to you. You do not understand where from it came, but you want it to go. That is the will of God. You want the disease to go, that's the will of God. You want it now. From where you got it, you do not know, but you use all your means other than God. The godliness must provide you the sense to deliver yourself out of your problems. But the godliness is not there because I don't believe in God, but I have something as a wish of tomorrow that is not in my hands. Suppose you have a fever and you have all the powers with you. You don't believe in this supernatural power that is superhuman power, above a power above the humans. It is still existing. That power we call God. It is not in shape and form. It is not what the priesthood taught us. The God is not what the priesthood taught us, but the godliness inside of us is a quality to stay, to make us stay as a human being, to stay as a powerful being in this world, to stay ahead of our future, and for our free thinking and for our diligent caretaking mood about tomorrow. We follow earnestly what we want. That want is not with us, but we need it. We hope things will come in our favor. This is the godliness in you that make you believe, be hopeful, be patient, and it is going to come your way. You don't go and seek it. It is going to be created, so it will come your way. If it is already created, you go and take it. It is not your what I have decreed for you. Whatever I have decreed for you is your earnest wish and will, and that shall happen all your life, then and there, or in the near future. What prevents me from getting all these things that my inner sense wish for? That is, I can do what I want. I have all the ability to live in this world, and I have the fullest knowledge and wisdom to acquire anything that I want, because nothing is to be created, everything is already there. I have to go and grab it. Whatever we have in our mind is to be created from the unseen to the unseen nature around me. My nature around me, my atmosphere around me, my environment around me should be as feasible to me as possible, so that there is no distraction to my mind or there is no distress to my body. What my mind requires is unseen. Mind is unseen. Whatever I have as my will is unseen. This unseen form in the power nature is given to me. It is beyond your means, beyond your human knowledge to acquire that power or to create that power. It is not the question of acquiring, but it is a question of receiving as He creates things for you. To each and every soul, God creates His wish that is going to be created for them. It is not going to be taken away from some place which has been already created. The mind is creating. The mind has a creative ability, and therein is the godliness, the power of godliness. Unless you believe in God, there is no way that we can hope for the future. So I don't want to fall sick all my life. I want to extend my life by 100 years, by 200 years. If you have the powers, everyone wants to wish for 1,000 years. Can you live? You cannot, but you wish for it. Where from that wish came? If you are a human being not believing in the superhuman power, we call it supernatural power. And against all the powers of the nature, if it is not suitable to me, if it is inimical to me, definitely I don't want that nature. If the sun is so hot and it is causing a vexed life to me, and it is like hell living under the hot sun, I feel that the climate must change. If it is within your powers, change it. You cannot, but you want it. Where from that came? If I don't believe in the supernatural power, why should I harbor that interest, that will in me? Let the climate change. Let it change means you are commanding it to change by the will of God. If the God is not there, such things will not happen to you, but such things happen to you, but we are against God. We have to believe there is a supernatural power going by our own understanding, using your own minimal, meager, mean knowledge, you can understand God is there. God means not in form and shape, a power, above the powers, above all powers. It will have a challenge over your climate, challenge over environment, challenge over anything that is inimical to you, anything that is discrepant to your wish. It is to be averted. Whatever is inimical to me, whatever is not suitable to my nature, it has to be averted, removed, cleaned up, and I have to be cleared off of all of it. Is it possible for us? No, but we need it. We wish for it. That's godliness in us. So believe in the God first if you want tomorrow to be in your favor. Believe in the godliness so that you will have no distraction in your life. That godliness is the feel of tomorrow. It is not in anyone else's hands. It is not in your wisdom, but all wisdom belongs to Him. Shall we follow God or do you want to follow your knowledge? If you want to follow your knowledge, this knowledge is all about what I have heard in the past, what I had seen in the past, and what I had gone through as my experiences in the past. So all my knowledge is about the past, but I want to live for the future. The past knowledge cannot go to the future to serve you, to produce anything for you. This is common sense. That common sense is godliness. The more I think, the more righteous I am. The more I contemplate, the better I am reformed. The more I rewind my life backwards and start analyzing things, I am correcting myself from error to the right path. So, unless I know my past, if there were anything that I could do in my past, I had done in my past to myself, then I could do it in my future also. Nothing. So many times I have fallen sick, so many times I had lost in my business and my income were down to a very minimal level so that it frightens me whether I have a life left with me or not. Then the help came. Where from it came, I do not know. My life changed. My sickness went away. My troubles had gone away. And my fortune came back again in a better shape and form. My tiredness has gone. Now easiness is setting in. How is it possible? If only I can remind me of my past, I know that the providence has helped me, not my knowledge and not my astuteness. There's no achievement left with me except the wisdom. If He delivers to me, definitely there is a life for me tomorrow. That's about God. God exists in us, not anywhere else. God exists as our conscience. So we are now going to look into the conscience. The conscience is nothing but the scripture. The scripture is called as Veda in religious terms. So we now go into the Veda. Quran is one such Veda. That means it is a scripture. That means it is sent down by God. That is the godliness in each of us, for all human beings, not for one section of human beings. So When we read a paragraph in a scripture sent down by God, we call it Veda. We read from now Quran. The meaning of Quran is conscience. Conscience is same to everyone, and that conscience speaks the truth. The ability to distinguish between the right and the wrong, the inner sense of what is right, free from error. What is error? Free from all righteousness. This is the Veda, this is the conscience, this is the scripture. That conscience is set in the soul of every human being by God. So we believe in God. When we believe in God, we believe in the consciousness of us. That conscience is so much important. We have to be very conscious about our conscience. The entire consciousness is to be based on the conscience in us. If there is a disparity between the consciousness and the conscience, then we are lost. We will be suffering. All evil omen shall befall us. We prevent it today by being conscious about each one's conscience. That conscience is Veda. That consciousness is your prayer, prayerful life in this world. So the entire future will be in the line of being prayerful, that is, abiding by the conscience, and we have to be conscious about our conscience, about the Veda, about the principles of life, believing in the unseen, believing in the will, believing in the wisdom that is going to create your will in and around you. From heavens down to earth, things will take shape to deliver what you wanted heartily, conscience wise, and because you being conscious about that all your life, God is producing, creating for you, and those creations will cater to your life all your stint in this world. So, will you abide by your conscience? That is Veda. Then we are now seeing chapter 9 of Quran, verse number 1. If the life is with you or with anyone else, no, my life is not with me. If it is with anyone else, no. But with whom? It is from God I have come, because by the grace of God I am living. I had gone through all my adversities in my past, but they were all removed from me. I was delivered to my pristine, pure health and activity. Now I fall sick again. I come back out of it. Then I fall sick again. I come out of it again. All these things keep happening. Only my wish transforms me from one stage to another. Only my behavior makes me fall from my grace, fall from my liveliness, deathward, from suffering, making me suffer from all disastrous things. I become distressed. Then I believe whatever is given to me, that you should not be suffering from this and get out of this very soon as possible. This is what is the instinct in me. I cannot do anything about it, but you want it or you don't want it, that's the thing. Yes, I want it. Now God's help comes. Your knowledge is coming to a halt now. You do not know what to do because you do not know where from it came. When you suffer a distress, you do not know where from it came. When you suffer an ailment, you do not know the reason behind it. When you are hale and hearty, then also you do not know how you are hale and hearty. You are simply living a beastly life in this world, though we are human beings. Though we are full of wisdom, we are full of sense. That inner sense, though it is guiding you in the right way, we fall into sickness because we fall our own feel, we fall into, we are prey to our own desires. This desire and feel are two different things. The desire is, I want to enjoy this life as much as possible. The worldly pleasures I want, nothing but these worldly pleasures. And I want to use it fully. There's no restrictions. But That is okay with us. We still want others' properties also to be hoarded by us. We want others' pleasures also to be in our way. We don't have any compassion for anyone else. Whether they do or die, that's their problem. When I am living, I want to see others' pleasures also. That's not good. There we have lost our conscience. We have to be very conscious that everyone has conscience, everyone has the desires like you, everyone has the will like you, everyone needs the pleasures like you, but in a limited way. God has given you a stomach, it has the appetite, it cannot feed its stomach with the entire things in the world. It has got so much capacity, and that capacity must be respected. In the same way, I have my lungs to breathe. Some good breeze comes, I have to breathe fully. I cannot have entire air into me and start breathing beautifully and start living in that climate. I cannot. It will be stuffed and it will get burst. You will die on the spot. Similarly, if you accept in this angle your feel also, there is a limit to that feel. Don't trespass that limit. God doesn't God doesn't like it. The more you desire, you trespass. The limits set by God. The godliness must be there all the time inside of you so that it conducts you, guides you towards your prosperous nature, averting the perverse complexities that you may develop in the near future according to your desires. The limits, if you are transgressing and trespassing, there our life ends. We go to chapter 9, verse number 1. This is a declaration of dissociation. This is a declaration of dissociation from you. You will have no more of your conscience guiding you. You will have no sense of what is right and what is wrong. Then you will find everything wrong as right and you do not know what right is. When you fall from the righteousness, you fall into sickness. So be abiding by the conscience and have a rewinding. Think for yourself, understand about your past, and give reverence to the Almighty power that delivered you from all the troubles, so that your future you have some hope. That hope will build up into a belief, and thereafter you'll be faithful to God. That godliness must be preserved at any point of time. Here, if you don't adhere to the conscience, if you are straying away from the inner sense and you start living by your own desires and the worldly pleasures, this is the declaration from God that Allah and His Messenger have declared that they have dissociated from you. So, what is God? The God is the mighty power. What is Allah? The none but Him. Allah, the word Allah means the none but Him. There are three pronunciations in that Allahu. Al means the, La means no, the none, Who means Him, the none but Him. That is the purity I have in my mind. I have no other choices except to fall flat on my face before Him. I have no other choice except to abide by His order. His order is get well. And His order is you do not know how you will get well. Leave it to me, put your trust in me, I am going to save you. Not only for this moment of agony, but all your life, you will be free from every disaster. That is averting a catastrophe on myself. So believe what you've been infused with, what I've been inspired with. I have been inspired with a beautiful life at any given time. I am inspired with a lovely mentality all my life. I am inspired with modesty all my life. I will be humble before people. I will humble myself because I will not have any pride in me. I will not consider myself superior. I will not consider I am having all knowledge. If you think that you have the knowledge about tomorrow, the future, and if you have the ability to produce anything for you whatever your heart wills, that is unseen. The unseen, you do not know how to procure it. The unseen, you do not know how it is going to transform into a visible life, and that life should be living and serving you all the time. That must know your requirement, and according to your requirement, it must serve you. And that is produced by God. If God doesn't produce for you, nothing is going to happen your way. If God is not helping you, no protection, no help will come your way. And finally, the disasters will strike us. Our life will be disintegrating. We will be living like a life in hell. This life we do not want. If I think I have all knowledge, then God and his messenger goes away from you. God and his messenger, when they desert you, it is the end of my life in this world. I don't want to live in this world. I will ask someone why God has created me. But just before this happens, you were saying there was no God. Now you say why God has created me. Where from God came now when you are distressed? Where from God came now when you are diseased? When you fall to illnesses? When the adversities come upon you? Where from the word God came to you? How does a person think suddenly of God whenever he is afflicted with disasters? Why God created me? But he was not a believer in God before. So the none but him will be your advantage if you have the belief in the none but him. You are not the one who will guide your life. It is he who guides your life. I know that I had to be patient before my desires come true. I had to be relenting and I have to be forgiving. I will not be blaming another person because of my inconsistencies. That pride will not overtake me. That purity should come to me. I cannot be crude against another person. It is all there in your life. It is all there given to you as a means of becoming humble before the Almighty power that is the tomorrow. We guide ourselves by our conscience. God is the God is the superpower, and He guides you by your conscience. That conscience is Veda, and that Veda is sent down by Him, and it is revived, it is replenished, it is reinvigorated in you. The more you think about this superior power should guide you. Except for the superior power, you have no guidance. The first sentence, the first verse of the chapter 9 is the declaration, if you believe in you, God is not there. You are going down the drain. The very moment you say that I believe in myself, you are going to be devoid of all your knowledge. You are going to be deprived of your wisdom. You are going to be deprived of your sources. There is no more resource for you. You'll be spending it until such time it has touched a low that there's no more life for you, for your sustenance. Then you begin to think of what to do. If you know everything is in your hands, that's what you believed when you rejected God. Now you are thinking in terms of what to do. You know everything, then why do you ask what to do? How can I go and seek help from others when you know everything is in your hand, is in your powers? That's what you thought when provisions were given to you in abundance. You thought everything is in your hands. Now you say, when things have gone away from you and you have lost your hopes, you are going in search of your sustenance from some others. You can even beg. They are people like you. They are humans like you. When you have lost your all resources, you go to a person. Things have come down to such a low. Now you have to believe in God. But still, The conscience has already gone. You cannot think about God. You can go and beg before the people. You can belittle yourself before a person, and you will be a downcast in the society. Before we become an outcast, deliver yourself from your downcasted level. Elevate yourself up. Think. You have no sources, no resources, no power, no wisdom, no intelligence, no nothing with you. Now, godliness may return to you because He forgives you. All the time, He is forbearing with you, He is forgiving you. So, you will come to an extent of understanding that without godliness, I cannot survive in this world. This is for me. Now I am thinking in terms of receiving the God's mercy. God says, if you think that you can save yourself, there is nothing left between you and me. We have dissociated. We means God and the messenger. The all-powerful God and the messenger, the conscience in you will go away. The Veda is your conscience. The Veda is your guide. And the Veda gives you the sustenance and resources to believe in the first place. The sustenance and resources not the things that you require, that you have to feed your bodily requirements. It is the sustenance of your mind. The mind commands the nature around you to suit you. The mind desires something, and the heavens and the earth fall in a line to cater to you. And the producers are going to be in abundance because you willed, and God is there with you. His conscience is there with you. His guidance is there with you. And everything created from heavens down to earth to safeguard you come in one line to produce things for you, to guide you in this world, and to nurture you with its sustenance necessary for you. We must have a countenance to face the future. Unless we believe in the godliness, we have lost our face. The very first sentence, chapter 9:1. This is the declaration of disassociation from Allah and His Messenger, from the God and the conscience. Both are gone together. To those with whom you had made a treaty among the polytheists. Whether believe in God or believe in yourself. If you believe in God, you are monotheistic. That God alone is sufficient. That's my feel. If you don't believe in God, you have to believe in everything else from heaven down to earth. You will believe in stars, you will believe in moon, you will believe in the shade, you will believe in the rain, you will believe in whatnot. Everything that you will believe on the earth, and things will die down. Whatever you believe will go away from you. You believe in the water has dried up. You believe in the underground water that has gone into depth, you cannot reach it. Now the famine has struck you, and you have to move out of your land to somewhere else. There also things will happen in the same way, what you do. And the people there are not going to accept you as a citizen, but you will be a downgraded person. You will have no liberty, you will have no privacy, you will be disgraced because of the depravity. What will be your source then except God? But still, you feel that such things should not be there in your life at all. You must have the freedom of life in this world. You must have free franchise. You must be living in a liberal society with full of liberty. But you have become like a slave. Your privacy will be invaded anytime if you go out of your land to somewhere else because of the famine, because of the inadequacy, because of the poverty that has struck me. I have to move from one land to another. All things should not happen in your life. Who says that? Your conscience says that. Then the conscience is kept by whom? By God. Who is that God? He is conscience itself. The more I am having the conscience intact, the God is with me. That means God not in form and shape, but the godliness. His mercy will be there with me as wisdom. Without wisdom, we have no future. Without knowledge, we can live in the past, not in the future. Present life also is at its disgrace. So I believe in the God and godliness, and whether the conscience is the only word that we can understand That conscience will guide us all our life, and without that life being guided by the conscience, there is no future producing for me tomorrow. Everything I must have is full of life. Even the air, water, and all the sustenance that the earth produces must have full of energy, life energy, so that I'll be living my fullest life without any deficiency until my life ends in this world. Until I depart this world, I must not suffer from anything. If this is your wish, is it possible with you to accomplish it for you? Can you stay by your promise that I can lead my life without anyone's help, using my own knowledge and wisdom? If it is so, God has left you in your way. That means He has dissociated. What happens then is when I am suffering due to some disease, due to some adversities, due to a bad omen, I begin to think where from it came. It came from nowhere. That is the supernatural way coming to you, even if you don't want, even if you want to avert it, even if you fully, with all your energy, with all your stresses, strive to avert it, it is impossible for you. Now you turn to godliness. Is there a way? There's no way. Turn to your conscience. There is the way. God is not in the mosque. God is not in the church or in the temples or in the synagogues. He is there in the heart of hearts. That is the soul. Will you follow your soul now or will you follow your muddy brain? Mudpot brain don't believe. It has only the knowledge of the past. It cannot be taken to the future for your life. If you take your knowledge to the future, definitely the future is already dead for me because it's past knowledge. It's a dead knowledge. It is deadly to follow my own knowledge into the future. God is not there with you if you believe in your knowledge. God is there with you if you become empty handed. I do not know anything. Even if you possess all this generousness, you must be so humble before Him to consider yourself as a pauper. Now, God's benefit will reach you by way of conscience, and the blessing of that conscience will give you the benevolence of His blessings in form and shape in its essential life. In its essential life source, you will be living. That life source is what I want for my future to my heart. That a hearty person will be bowing before his God because so much of blessings keep coming to us about our future, beautiful future that is ahead of you. Let not God, the superior power, and his conscience, the messenger that makes you differentiate between good and bad, the sense of righteousness and the sense of erroneous way will be delivered to you in the fullest form so that you have the choice to choose between the two. Definitely, you will choose the best one. Unless I stay in my soul, unless I stay with my conscience, I am out of consciousness. That consciousness is important for my worldly life, and unless I abide by my conscience, I have lost my consciousness. And I am partly insane now, and I have lost my life this moment, let alone the future, in which I think I can do something about my future. You cannot do anything about your life even today, presently, because you are now a depressed person. You have lost your heart. Your life is so horrible that you have become despondent. Energize your life now. That means keep up your faith and belief in you. Whatever He has given you all these years, the good things that you had enjoyed in this life, it is before, because of Him. But what He has enjoined upon you, believe in me alone, that we had not done. We were so rude to His command that we become arrogant and transgressors to ourselves. So we believed not in God now, but we believed in our abundance that we possess today, which may become vanquished and ruined in no moment. If we fear that things had happened before to so many people, look around, have a look around. Immediately you will come to know that whatever you possess, it is not a guarantee that it will stay with you forever. It will be removed in no time. At the blink of an eye, I will be nothing. Can this happen or not? Yes, it can happen. Then who does it? You don't want things to happen, but things have happened. Who does it? God. You must believe in God. If you don't believe in God, definitely you lost your conscience, and because of that, you lost your consciousness, both the inside wisdom and the outside knowledge totally have gone. Who are you? I am like a fringe element, a lunatic element in this world. I'll be considering good as bad and bad as good. Finally, all bad is my life. Nothing but the bad ways I can see for my survival in the set. Except that I loot and plunder the land. It's not a possibility for me to lead a comfortable life. Then also you are not going to lead a comfortable life. You will be given the taste of your own transgression in this earth. So we will be afraid of our own lives if we use our own knowledge, our own intelligence for the coming days. Believe in God so that His conscience will be there, guiding you all through your life with modesty, with moral behaviors intact. That is, the conscience intact. So I will be having my consciousness to lead a meaningful life in this world. So don't leave the conscience and consciousness. If you leave the conscience is out. I am dead person. I am a living dead, a deadly person living on this earth to the detriment of the other people's future. Definitely, it will be falling upon our own heads. It will not be a major disaster for another person just because we have lost our conscience. It may seem that you may have some powers over others, but it is going to have a reverse effect on you. That adversity will fall on you. So the very first sentence, the phrase of this chapter 9:1 is that's the declaration. The supernatural power which is producing for you, which is blessing you, which is you, I can feel as a worry, as a sorrow, and I don't know where from it came. This is the time you will assess and see how it came. You will not be able to understand. So you do not know how you will deliver out of it. You do not know how to avert it. That sorrow is getting intensified as days go by. That means things that should happen coming near you. It has very serious effect on you that it has come closer to you, and anytime it will dawn on you, there you will be dead. You will become deathward. There is no sustenance for you, and the miserable life will continue until our last breath. Will we follow our conscience now? And that conscience is set by God, and unless I abide by that set guidelines, I have no consciousness. I lost my consciousness. What will be your fate here? I am almost dead. A dead person living like situation is what we are leading in this world as and as of now, and anytime in the future we'll be a deadly living people. We will not be living like that anymore, and we'll be human beings abiding by the conscience, so that God and His messenger will be there with us. Messenger means a guide, the internal guide. That internal guide is the inner sense of identifying the right from the wrong, so that we choose the righteousness. We will not fall into sickness, and adversities will not touch us, and until our life's stint is over here, until the time that death touches us, we will be leading a beautiful life. The prayer with this verse is, "Oh God, now I am a believer in God. I am no more an atheist. I am no more a polytheist. When I cannot guide myself, nobody else can guide me also. If I think only God can guide me, I don't require anyone else. If I believe not in God, I believe in everyone else. I believe in others' knowledge. I believe in others' help and protection. That is polytheistic attitude. That is idol worshipping. I believe in the form and shape. Idol worshipping is bad. Don't equate the idol worshipping to worshipping the unseen force that is guiding you, conducting you from inside. They are not same. One is enlivening you, another is destroying you. So believe in the one that created all, or believe in everything except the one. Don't become a polytheist now at this stage. Become a monotheistic. He is the one Allah, the none but Him. I do not know who He is. I do not know what it is, but I know that's a superior power. The none but the superior power can make me live in this world and in the hereafter. The life that is unknown to me. Tomorrow is a life unknown to me. My after death will also be a life. There will be a life which is unknown to me. I believe that my life continues. I believe I am living in my heart, not that I am living by person of with that which is of shape and form. This will die. My life will live. My body will die in this world, and my life will leave me. Life will not be destroyed. That life is your inner sense, that is conscience, then the consciousness, and then your will and pleasure of this world, and the righteousness and the wrong that you had been given, that which you chose against the righteousness, you chose the wrong thing, and or against the wrong thing, you chose the righteousness. The benefit, the balance of these two, the punishment or reward will be there in the soul of my heart. Everything will be captured together except the body. We are going to live in a separate world now. Like in a dream, when we have fallen asleep, the dreams come, we shift our whole life from this body to another body. My body will be lying on the cot. I am in a different world with the same body. That is unseen. In this way, we can understand after the body goes away, destroyed, decomposed here in this earth. Definitely, my another body, unseen body, leaves me. That is from eternal life. We have to believe we have an eternal life ahead of us. We have to believe a life that is not in this form and shape, but in a different form and shape, but with the same body. That's how you feel. That afterlife, there is no death for you, there's no end to your life. The reward or punishment will be there forever, totally separate. Total punishment and total reward. So the hell and heaven are there before us. From tomorrow, that will happen. From the next moment, it may happen. We have no hold on to it except the belief. When you start believing in the unseen one force that created everything from heavens down to earth, and all your environment must change. The atmosphere must change. The climate must change. The nature must change, either to punish me or to reward me. I am not to avert or I am not to escape a danger when the climate surrounds me. You have no say over it, but the climate is there over which you have no powers. But things will happen against you or in favor of you. That's a blessing or God's wrath on us. So we have to be very careful from this moment that God and His messenger will not dissociate from us. As long as we are abiding by our conscience, we are with God. Our prayer is that, "O God, teach me the monotheism. Teach me who you are. Teach me about the one single source, the wholesome power that you are, the wisdom and the intelligence that you teach me, and the intuition and the inspiration by which I should live. You teach me. And I will not be believing in anything that is created, not even the created me, I will believe in. I believe in you who is going to create my next moment and who is going to make me live in the future climate and environment around me. And I will be living by the dictum, by the grace, and by your standards. Unless you guide me to it, I have no way. I don't know about the future. I don't know what has happened in the past. I know I am still living by your grace, and I know I'll be made to live in the future also. Me and my relations and me and my family all together. You gave me, and it is up to you. And I am putting my trust in you that you will make us live as a family, all obeying you, obedient to you. We are removing our worldly knowledge because the world is, as of what is existing today, is not going to be tomorrow. The unseen world I am going to be ushered in when the day breaks. When the night falls, my life ends. When the day breaks, I am entering into a new world with a new life and with a new order. That is a promising order that I am following you. I will be only following you. Will you take me into your fold? Yes, I am no more dissociating from you as long as you are not a polytheist. All the created things, if you believe, you become a polytheist. If you believe in the creator of all things, then you become a monotheist. If you are a monotheist, that is only in principle, you cannot see it in person. So you believe in the unseen, that superior natural power, and the power all above the nature that is in the cosmos, that's in the space. Who created the space above the cosmos? It is He, full of energy. From that cosmos, from that invisible space, everything is created and put into place. That becomes our one of the celestial bodies, and this system is going on until such time your life ends. To each person, the world is different, the space is different. Everyone has his own space, his own life, his own energy, his own wisdom, and don't think that you are a bodily yours. You are spiritually an enlightened being here without in form and shape. Your mind guides you, your mind feels the suffering, your mind feels the hell or heavenly life in this world. It is not your body. When some possibly there's a problem in my finger, the finger doesn't open the mouth and say that I'm suffering, here I am suffering. The unseen is alive. Wherever there is a suffering, it comes here, and here I am living in sorrow, living in fear, living in my worrisome nature. That becomes my nature, should not become my nature. My nature must go as a passing cloud. It cannot be overpowering me all the time I am living. And I will not be bogged down by the diseaseful state of heart. The very next moment, by God's grace, you will turn it to be so blissfully active. And that activity is what we need, that will guide our life rejuvenated, that will guide our life in an enlivened, from an enlivened position. Our life is improving, our life is getting better and better. But on the other hand, because of the polytheistic nature, believing in anything other than the Creator, all the created things, when we believe, we become polytheists. So God is not with us. There's no inspiration. There's no correction for our life, and every moment we are going down the drain. When we are dying, that is a very miserable state. But believe that your death should be a beautiful one, because you are stepping into the garden of tomorrow, unseen garden, like in a beautiful dream. But the dream is not a dream world in a real world, but in a different form and shape, again, which you are not going to assess it by your knowledge, but by wisdom. You can feel it, how beautiful it would have been. That also feel is in the heart, not through your eyes and five, by your five special senses, you are going to measure it. So let us not measure the world by our five senses, which is a decoy, which is a deception. Don't fall a prey to the deception of your five senses. Come to the sixth sense, there the godliness is there. Now, when I believe in the conscience, God is with you, the messenger of God is with you, that guides you from the conscience, and you will be conscious of the conscience. That is their life. Any question? We had talked about God. We had talked about monotheism. We had talked about polytheism. We talked about the messenger. We have talked about the conscience. We have talked about the consciousness. The conscience says there is a superior power. The consciousness, out of arrogance, it says, I am the power. The conscience says that it is unseen. The consciousness says that I am living. The conscience says you will have your life of tomorrow about which you have no knowledge. The consciousness says that is the polytheistic nature. I am God and others also God. Everything is God. That says their life tomorrow is me. That's falsehood. They say because there's no conscience in them. They say because they use only their five sense knowledge, they become a beast. Unless they use the sixth sense, we are of an animalistic instincts. We deal a life with animal instincts. We deal a life as an animal. We have our behavior as animals. And we are a beastly society, no more a human society. You will understand this and then correct yourself in a way that you will begin to believe in the unseen grace, that's conscience, which teaches you have a beautiful life from this moment until the end of your life. Thereafter also you will enter the heavenly life, like in a dream that you're shifting from a bodily, physical body level to a mentally level. There also you have a body. In similar way, after the death, your body is decimated here, and you are leading a life of the unseen body, the same body but unseen, for eternal life. That should be a heavenly life, not the life of hell. So we fear godliness in us, that I am not to be set out of it without my conscience. I must be living, abiding, and underneath the blessing of my entire garden of wishes God has given to me. That is the life I will be living under the umbrella of my conscience. That is the shade, that is the beauty, and that is the enlivening nature that I will have from within my soul, and I will start leading a life outwardly. Heavens and earth now will be in my favor. My environment will change, my atmosphere will change, and the nature will change. My climate is so good, I am living with the God. This is the life you will be leading. And don't lead your life as you are living today, leaving the conscience and having lost the consciousness. We are leading a deathward life, almost we are dead. We don't consider ourselves living being as long as the God and the messenger have left us. This is enough for us to mend our ways so that God tends for us. Any questions?